Well, good morning. Delighted to be here again with you today as I hope to continue for endless todays. Very exciting as particularly today, I want to talk about the element of time and how we can more fully understand and appreciate and participate in our function if we understand our relationship as person body in the space-time world with that which exists outside of time in the timeless realm. Because our actual function, this gets really exciting to look in a very simple way at this relationship. Okay, it's Einstein, E equals mc squared. I mean, everything that he understood and sort of everything that modern physics understands rests on knowing this relationship between, again, the space-time world and that which is outside of time. And there's a portal, the threshold, what Einstein showed is that the threshold of the physical universe is light. This is why when we leave our body, whether we're astral projecting or when we drop our body, or when we have a brilliant idea, the whole way that we can understand genius is that we have the ability with our consciousness to escape the limits of time. Okay, the universal mind, the one elemental mind that exists, again, outside of the limitations of space and time. The portal, the threshold that we cross with our consciousness is an energetic experience that we know as light. We experience light. Hence the light bulb or the halo or whatever. This is what Einstein showed, is that there's a membrane, if you will, that surrounds the space-time universe, which is light. And you can literally, which is, the speed of light, if you are able to move faster than the speed of light, if you attain the speed of light, you actually become light. So again, nothing in the physical world can achieve that speed. But our consciousness is not limited by physical reality. Our consciousness is fluid. It has the ability, we can increase our vibration to the point where our consciousness is vibrating literally at the speed of light or crosses the threshold of the space-time world, which is light. Very important to understand this because our relationship, you could say then, with time is expanded by our relationship with light. This is why I've shared so often that we can focus our attention on the sun as a symbol, a very powerful symbol, because to the physical world, the sun is everything. The sun is the energetic source of everything. And it is light, right? What we experience. And this is why it's very important that I'm talking with you each day today before dawn. Because my preparation for the day, my preparation for receiving the sun is crucial. It's elemental to my role as Sun King. that I would take instruction, as it were, from the sun. Okay, it's just symbolic, but you could say that the sun is as important to the physical world as God, or the unmanifested, is to the spiritual world. And for us to bring these two functions together, it's how our body and our person becomes one with our energetic function, which is as spiritual masters. Okay, we are invited. It's our destiny to answer this call, this invitation to participate as masterful spiritual beings. That we have the ability, by answering this call, by being willing to be instructed, that we can energetically raise our vibration to the point that I've talked about many times, where a new earth begins at around 500 on the Hawkins scale, from 0 to 1,000. But this is beyond the limits of the rational mind. This is why we can receive knowledge that is way beyond the limitations of the egoic human Homo sapien mind. Okay, and this has been shown throughout time. There have been spiritual masters that have walked the earth throughout our history as a species. And all of them have shared the same knowledge, the same awareness about the relationship between time and space in the timeless realm. It's everything. It's like, if you try to understand rationally how this new earth is going to be birthed, it doesn't make any sense. The rational mind goes, it's not possible. Well, in fact, it's very possible. In fact, it's real. I am evidence, and there's many like me who can show actual evidence that it's real, that we have this alchemical power available to us to transmute the world as we know it into something else. Okay, where our relationship with time, for example, shifts. We actually have a relationship with the timeless realm, or eternity, and that's what defines our existence. Okay, very, very crucial to contemplate this. Again, the rational mind can't go there, but you have available to you a mind that is way beyond the rational mind. It's a mind that is instructed by eternity, by the universal consciousness, which is huge, literally infinite. Okay, so all of these things in the past that, for instance, has required us to develop theories about aliens, intelligence that's beyond human and all that, God, this whole Christian idea of a God, or Buddhist idea of whatever. Those theories have been necessary only because we did not yet have the capacity to be that. Remember, I talked before about this egoic process of denial and projection. So we denied this limitless capacity and then projected it onto some extant God, some alien super species, when the whole point that Jesus, for one, as a master, was making was to say that one day in the space-time world, you will do more than I ever could have done. You will demonstrate what I was demonstrating to the adults around me, because you will collectively embrace this principle. He was limited by the energy around him, the unwillingness of the world at large to receive the message that he was born to deliver, that I'm born to deliver, that you are born to deliver. This is the message that the world, as we know it, is ready to receive. We are right on this. I mean, we are in this birthing matrix. And if you focus on the old forms that are dissolving, then you get lost in fear and confusion and anger and all of that, because that doesn't look very pretty. But if you're focused on the birthing matrix that we are in, I am in it. If you want to be, you are in it. You are welcome to be in it. We are the midwives of this new earth. And the new earth is not defined by the limitations of time and space the way we knew it before. That is what changes. Okay, you can say, well, how can the world become that? You know, how can the world, remember, this is again what A Course in Miracles promises when it says the end of the world is not its destruction, but its translation into heaven. Okay, the world as we knew it is limited by the rational mind and time and space. Heaven is not limited by the rational mind or time and space. It's different. We're still here. I'm talking with you. See, again, this is the translation. Okay, I'm in a place now, still taking baby steps, but I'm in a new earth. And when you enter, when you pass through the portal, which is light, into a new earth, all is possible. There's nothing that is impossible in that the rules change. If eternity is what is dictating our existence, and I assure you that it is, then there's no lack, there's no sense of urgency relative to time, because we're playing in a different field. Okay, now we're bringing that energetic principle that is timeless into space-time. That's the translation that, okay, so here's time, here's this idea of hours and minutes and days and weeks and whatever. And then here's the timeless realm saying, okay. So when I said in the past, okay, you know, in my experience, because I walk with one foot in eternity, it has been as if I've been alive for, I used to say 900 years, but now it's closer probably to 1,000 years, 1,000 years of human time. That's a lot of time. You can get a lot accomplished in 1,000 years. And so if you just are changing your relationship with time, the thing that others would call 1,000 years, you're calling like today. It's without limit. And so miraculous things can occur. It's the same thing like with form, okay, we call space, whatever form. You know, physical form doesn't really have the limits that we might think it has, okay? And I mean, we literally, for example, the one thing that we have mastery over more than anything, because it's closest to home, is our own body, our own vehicle that we're using as a communication device. Once this thing, body and person, are put into service as a communication device for the divine, for eternity, it changes. It no longer serves in a problematic way. It's no longer a way in which one is limited. Okay, so how do you take the limitless realm of eternity? How does that then affect the nature of the body and the person? Because it wants the body and the person to be perfectly of service. It wants it to be absolutely efficient. So it doesn't want the communication device to be a problem that needs medicine or needs to go to the hospital or needs whatever. So it literally, I mean, this is what Jesus was talking about when he was able to do hands-on healing on these dodo birds all around him. He knew that he had the power, it wasn't from him, it was from eternity. He knew that that power could heal a body that is just simply lost in this confusion. Say, oh, I'm blind, or oh, I've got a broken back, or whatever. The power that's available to us literally can change what seems to be the limitation of the body. Okay, and I've experienced this many times in my life. You know, just the brief story of 2 years ago, falling 20 feet out of a tree onto a pile of rocks with a running chainsaw. I mean, it was like, okay, this is impossible. This has to be the end of that body, or this body is going to be very badly broken. It wasn't. How did that miracle happen? And I've had a few experiences in my life where the body should have been destroyed, but it wasn't. Why? The reason is because it was already given to an immense power to be used. Okay, I said when I was 21, I'll do it. I answered the call, I'll do it. So therefore, this energy that says, ooh, okay, we got a good one. We got a willing person body. Let's take care of him, let's bless, let's surround him with this blessing that would keep him intact so that he could serve, because he said he would. It's amazing. It's literally amazing what is given to us when we say yes, when we say, I'll do it. I'll do it. I will be of service to the immensity that is. And out of that willingness comes what appears to be miraculous. It's not really miraculous. Again, the miracle only appears to be miraculous to those that are not yet miracle-minded. Once you become miracle-minded, miracles are the norm. That's what you would expect. Okay, so again, this is what I've been talking about as far as, the law of attraction and all that. If this has to be an inside job, if you attend to what's really going on, if you really attend to your decision to be about a heavenly function serving eternity, that changes the ball game. Okay, a body and a person that are driven by fear or that are driven by anger and hatred, how do you think that body and person is going to be? It's going to have problems. It's going to be, because those are interference patterns. You see interference patterns that are interfering with glory, the glory that wants to use you for its expression. Remember, in Jesus' terms, he says, of myself I am nothing, the Father, he doeth the works. It's this immensity that we call the Father. It's not Father, it's not Mother. This whole relationship that we're stepping into collectively, this is an energetic, we got to break down these, words. It's kind of funny that in politics, they're starting to really wrestle with words like limitations, man, woman, child, whatever. It's like, okay, it's, people appear cuckoo, but literally they're trying to bring something that's bigger than life into life. How do we translate this power into our human existence? It's understandable that there would be lots of confusion, lots of goofy things going on. Okay. But the call is for us to bypass all of that goofiness, all of that magical thinking. Okay. It's like we don't want to make the miracle, for example, special, like, oh, ooh, wow, Louis fell out of a tree and nothing happened. He should have broken, he should be dead. Wow, something special about Louis. No, no. You make it special and you push it away. You make it distant, you make it like, oh, it's only for special people. No, it's for everybody. That's the whole point. This power is available for all of us. Okay, I think it's kind of cute that I was in this incarnation born given a name Louis Bourgeois, king of the ordinary. Okay, this is for ordinary humans. Any human can receive and wield this power. This is no longer about individual avatars. Ooh, let's worship the avatar. Totally incorrecto. Anybody that pretends to have inside information or personal access to power that's not available to everybody, they're lying. You know, they're abusing their relationship with reality. This is what the extraordinary needs to be ordinary. Okay, and when we are existing in this realm, not only has the extraordinary become ordinary, but we as masters see in the ordinary, we see the extraordinary, that everything becomes extraordinary. Every breath we take, every step we make, it's like the existence itself in this exalted realm is amazing. And this is where we get to be filled with so much bliss, so much joy, so much enthusiasm. It's an unstoppable force. Okay, and this is again what evolution promises us. Okay, evolution is an unstoppable force. The unmanifested is an unstoppable force. God is an unstoppable force. Abraham, by whatever name, the Tao is an unstoppable force. Okay, so those of us that open to this unstoppable force, it's like there's no worry. There's no like, oh, maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe a new earth is really just this illusion, this dream, whatever. No, it's real because it already exists. So this is again how we have the ability as masters to collapse time. I was maybe going to title today's talk, The End of Time, in the sense of the end of time as a sense of limitation. Okay. The great confusion in the world always has an element of time in it. Okay. The rational mind cannot fully embrace eternity, but eternity is actually what is real. The space-time world is a little fractal of the whole. Doesn't mean that it's not real, but it has a limitation. It's like if you take a cup of water out of the ocean, well, the cup of water is just a little cup of water, but it actually was and will be again part of this immensity, this ocean. Okay, and you've heard all the metaphors about, all of us are little, drops in the ocean and all of that, but we are actually the ocean also. Okay, very key that we learn to embrace the immensity of what's real. That's the translation. We want to be thinking in big terms, glory, grandeur. These are the things that Jesus knew that any master new, and now all of us are called to step into the same level of mastery, to know what is real, and then we can easily birth it. We can easily translate our world into heaven. This is what we are called to do. Thank you for the opportunity to remind all of us each day. I mean, each of us are called to do this kind of a thing, whether you write it, whether you paint it, whether you make music, however you do it with your creativity. Your call is to show evidence daily of this glory, of this grandeur. I mean, simply your life is meant to be evidence of that. That's all. It doesn't, there's no special form it takes. You don't have to be a speaker, writer, painter, whatever. It could just be the way you hug your grandchildren. But we know why we're doing what we're doing. It has a very big, very glorious reason, purpose behind it. Okay, so again, our lives become so holy. Our daily experience becomes so holy, becomes majestic. It becomes, like literally, there's nothing greater that could ever be your day today. There's literally nothing greater that could ever be your moment by moment opportunity to live and breathe and serve majesty. Okay, that's enough for today. See you again today.